Welcome back. This is going to be episode 2 in the map making tutorial. Not really, map editor is the name of it. So, without further ado, this is where we left off in the last episode. We had just done this and drawn this to show what the shortcut keys were, and I'm frankly still getting used to them. So again, we're going to delete this stuff that we made, and we're going to start afresh. So here's what we're going to do, is we're going to hit spacebar to remind you. You can do spacebar to toggle between the painter and the eraser. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm just going to drag all of it and delete it. Same thing over here. You can grab all of it, delete it. And we're left with the base sand, or sand color. I just want to see something real quick. Toggle back. Interesting floor tiles. So, what we want to do today is build. And you might think, what do we start with? And I would say the best thing to do is go to your schedule that you've chosen, okay? And go through the daily schedule of that prison, and do each area that they go to. So if they start off waking up, you're going to need to build rooms. So that's what we're going to start off building. And after that, they're going to go to a roll call area, and that's what we're going to do next. And after that, they're going to go to, let's say, breakfast, and that's what we're going to do next. We're going to do the kitchen. And we're going to go throughout the day, and we're going to do everything that needs to be done and at the time that it's being done. And that way you just make sure that you hit everything and you have everything. And then you might want to ask yourself if you missed anything, right? Because maybe you didn't go to the infirmary. Because there's no job period in the infirmary. There's no requirement to go to the infirmary. So you got to make sure you put the infirmary in. Okay, so I know that I want to be somewhere down here in the southern part of the map, because I'd like us to go from bottom to top of the map again. You know what, let's switch that. Should we switch that around and go from top to bottom? Yeah, let's switch that around. Let's go from top to bottom. Because Lake Town was bottom to top, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Let's do something different. I like to try to utilize the whole map. So let's kind of start. We don't want to be within the first, say, 2 blocks of it. So we kind of like to be down here. And I'd kind of like to be stuff above it. So let's go down 2 blocks more. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just pick a floor tile right here and just mark it out. So I want it to be about in the middle-ish. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Off limits. 1, 2 for other buildings. Pathway, and we can start it like right there, as far as I'm concerned. It could be like this space here. Yeah? Yeah, we could work with it. What's this guy look like? It's just like gray squares. I wish it was black and white tiles. Like stark black and white. I've seen somebody do it in a custom tile set. But we're not going to do that in our tile set. We could do the floors like this in here. Yeah. So anyway, while we're doing this, I mean, this is kind of the area that I want, but let's talk about this over here. This is your tile set, and each one's unique to the prison. And you can see how, unused blocks are this pink color. And of course, they're just things that are not there that might be in other tile sets. For example, the docks is only in the Iron Gate tile set. This floor over here, let's start with that floor. That is your background floor. That is sand. Okay? So you always have the background, the grass, the whatever. And that's kind of off to the side there, but you don't even need it because it's the same exact thing as deleting. It's for no difference. Okay. Up here, though, is floor, so this would meant to be inside, perhaps, or ground. This would be vent flooring, so if you're going to do ventilations, this would be what you use for the floor of the vents. And this is a wooden floor. That's it. That's pretty much it for the floors, plus you've got a tile floor, plus you've got this, in this case, this dumb tile floor. You might use that in like the shower room, maybe. You have this as an obstacle, and you cannot go through it. So some people like to, if they put the walls here, let's do it for you. if we put the walls here, some people like to make another set of walls there and then put this stuff between it so that you like for sure can't go through there, right? That's how you make one of those. You'll see those in some of the prisons. I'm a bigger fan of if you want to just not have them go through the wall. It just saves a lot of space to just where are you? These guys. These guys cannot be chipped through. And that's it. Does the exact same thing, but it saves you 2 spaces. And on maps, you know, I don't know. I like to use all the maps, so I like to not take up too much space, and it serves the exact same purpose. The only reason I could see maybe you'd want to use this is if you wanted them to dig underneath and you didn't want it to be a quick dig, because this would happen real fast. But if you had this here, or oh yeah, you could even double it up if you really felt mean, to make them have to dig farther. And then that'd be fine to just do, you know, a normal wall. Whoops. A normal wall. Because even if they chip through it, they can't get through the black. And that's just to make them dig longer, I guess. So yeah, it does have a use. I take it back. Let's keep going through the tiles. So what we were at after the obstacle is the wall tiles. And this is the horizontal. This would be the vertical. Yeah. Yeah. And back to the horizontal, because I forgot it, on the bottom side. Cool. Now you may also have seen how these two do not come all the way down, so I just want to quick copy that. I believe that's Control. Turns pink. I left click, and it's good. I'll just add those right there. Okay, so there we go. And I'll do that the same for here. And we got to put the corners on. Those are next. So this is the upper left corner. This one's the upper right corner, you may have guessed. This is the lower left. And this is the lower right. Lovely. We also are going to have these T-braces. There's one T-brace here. This is a T like on top with one going down. You would connect it on the bottom. This one is sort of a it looks kind of like an upside down L, but it keeps going. It's like a backwards R almost. It's hard to say. It's a 3-way, but the T's on this side and the thing goes off this way. They continue randomly up here. This is the bottom T with the part going up top this way. This is the T cross going up. And this is the side T going the other way. It's got up, side, down. It's a 3-way. This is the T that goes off there, off there. And then this is the 4-way. It looks sort of like the same thing as this one, but it's actually 4. And it is like a plus sign more. I know it's difficult to see. Let me see if I can show you. I know this is all very small, and there is no zoom. I wish I could zoom in. There you go. That's the T. That's a plus, and this is the one that looks very similar, but it's actually just the bottom. And you can see there's a black line that goes across the top where the cursor is. And it's small things like that that you've got to notice for the differences, and they actually are hard to see in the map editor. They're hard for me to see as well, but when you're in the game they become crystal clear. Where'd you go? See? Boom. Much better. And it's the same thing with the roof tiles, which we'll go over when we do the roof. I think it'd be too... We'll talk about it now. In fairness, we'll talk about it now. So those are all of those, and they come and they finish down over here. Despite starting here, they finish over here. Next up, we have another obstacle, a box, you know, something like that. Put 3 of them there, you know, create a little thing. Yeah, that's too much. Too much box. I like that. This is for the vent. We'll be talking more about that when we do the vents, but this is just the top part of the vent, the north, what they call it, the top part of the vent. This is the left side of the vent, they call west. This is the right side of the vent, they call east. And this is the vent wall to the south. I know it's on top, but it actually closes the bottom of this guy. and the white part doesn't show up. So there you have it. That's how to make vents. Those are the only tiles to make vents. There's one door that you can put in vents. It's the vent utility door. You have a normal utility, vent utility. We'll get down there in a second, though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But we'll talk more about vents when we do them. Roof edging is pretty standard. So we have, where are we? This is the horizontal. This is the vertical. And this is the upper right corner, upper left corner, lower right corner, lower left corner. And then these are the special cases. This is, oh, it's hard for me to even tell. This is the left. Okay, this is like, if you want the roof to edge, to have an edge where it opens up, and you want it to have like a sharp stop. This is the left edge where it breaks. This is the right edge where it breaks. This is the top vertical side where it breaks, and this is the bottom side where it breaks. It's hard to understand what I'm talking about right now, but when we cover the roofs, it'll be much, much clearer. We skipped over this guy. He's an obstacle. You can't go through him. It's like a glass window. Maybe the health person stands behind it. Bars. Again, there are no vertical bars, so you should probably make your cells horizontally, the bar part horizontally, like I'm going to do over here. This is just a gate. Again, can't go through it. And this is kind of like a rock that it forms, and you can make a whole bunch of rocky outcroppings using this stuff. And it continues over here. While I'm over here, let's also talk about this little pathway system. It seems to create path along with this floor right here. And then the lighter area, I don't want to say the lighter area, the darker, slightly darker area at the top on this one is the path, and the other part is the... No, I'm sorry, I'm backwards on that. The darker part is the sand, and the lighter part is the path, I believe. We'll find out when we get there. And there's also a piece of rock right there. Let's keep going. That's the rock. This is the, like, usually outer wall that's unchippable. It's the big wall. You can actually see the entire thing here as if it were like a corner. This is the upper left. This is the down. This is the lower right, lower left. Sorry. This is the second bottom part of the lower left block. This would probably be the upper right of that right here if it went across as a square. We can do that actually. We can do that right now just to show you. We can make it as big as we want. It doesn't have to be just this big, but we'll do this right now. Should work, right? What are we doing? Why are we going so far away? Give a copy of this guy. And then we should have this guy right here. Boop, boop. And let's see, what else can we put? We gotta put this guy here. It's the other corner. And we should use this guy for the bottom one right there. Each one has the under part. Each one of these three blocks has a specific under part. They're underneath each one, so it's really convenient. This one's underneath that. This one's underneath that. It's actually one of the few things that is really convenient in this tile set. You have rocks, which are also obstacles. You know, just toss those around. Some rocks. This is also how you make the guard spot. I would probably put some kind of flooring underneath them, and then put the guard right there. So we'll leave that for now. Maybe we'll keep it, maybe we'll move it. To move it, all you gotta do is do the copy move, which is, of course, let me refresh my own memory. Shift, hold shift, drag release to copy. Yep. I don't know, that looks kind of menacing. We'll have more to copy later. I just wanted to make sure we have stuff to save. Alright. So we're almost done. Those are rocks. Okay, you also have wall masks, which you're not going to use on this level. You're going to use on the, as it says right there in parentheses, and you're going to use it on the roof level. And you're going to use that to cover this stuff up. It'll just cover the top part of it. Make it look a little better. Make it look a little more roof-like. Trust me, it does work. And these are like the corners. You can put that over the corners to make the corners look better. And the left corner where it's lighter, you have a slight glint. You can use that on the corner. You'll see when we do roofs. It's harder to explain, but it's easy to see. You also have this kind of flooring. Lovely kind of maintenance area flooring. That's usually what it's used for in the Team 17 maps. And I think we might put one of those right here. I think we might do that. We might do that. We might put a little maintenance area over there. Matter of fact, no, that's not the one I want. Matter of fact, nah, we want to move that over. Yeah. Okay. And now we got to fix this part, because since we wanted this there, now we got to fix it, and we've got to move it over. So I'm just going to copy. Whoops, we're still in delete mode. Don't want to do that. I want to copy this one over. Nope. Want to copy this one over. That's all I got to do. And then I'll just copy this guy. Boom. Boom. Now the only ones I got to come back over here for is now I need the T-brace going south and the T-brace going north. Wha-bang, we are good to go. Okay, so that's the start of where we're going to house our inmates. We may have to expand it. I haven't even done any kind of measurement yet, but that's the start. So let's do that. Let's get to it. Is there anything else I had to explain over here? Oh, fences. Fences are pretty same thing as walls. This is the horizontal one. I don't know why I did two, but this is the... Oops. See? Making all kinds of mistakes. This is the vertical one. And then you got the corners. That's the bottom corner. Let's connect these so you can see them. That's the bottom corner. That's the left lower corner. This is the upper right corner. And this is the upper left corner. Now you use the same corners because they're unchippable, they're uncuttable, for the electric fence. And of course the electric fence is over here on this side. This is another wall mask, and this is a reinforced concrete. It is also an obstacle. You cannot go through it. It's usually used on the underground layer to stop people from digging certain places. We're going to make use of that a lot on this map. You can also use it on ground level though. It's perfectly fine. And the electric fence used in the exact same way. Like that. But you leave the corners, you know, you just use the regular corners. And it does look a little funky. They could have added in some blue corners, but no worries. So, that's the fences. We talked about the pathway. Oh, this is the vent wall corner, because there will be some spots where you're going to need L-brace this way or an L-brace that way. Should have mentioned that. And then these are the roof layers. It goes from darkest lowest to lightest highest. So you can actually move from different levels and think about what you're going to need, whether it's a grappling hook or some kind of rope. And these are also for roof layer. They're the pipes that you can walk across. Cool. And then we talked about how that's the sand. And these are unchippable walls. These are the paths, and that's part of the rock. And that's a wall mask. Okay, yep. Cool, that's all of them. Let's quickly run down through the obstacles before we finish the building and get started really making our map. So, we have doors. It's just a regular door, doesn't lock. Cell doors. Cell doors lock when you are after roll call, after evening roll call, when you have to go to your cell, and they don't unlock until usually 8 in the morning when you are asked to come to roll call. You can put these on cells, you can put these on buildings, anything you want locked down. It's maybe you like to leave your prison open, you want to leave it easy, so if the players can get out at night, then they can roam around and do tons of fun stuff, or you can lock everything up with cell door keys that don't otherwise have locks. Purple is usually what lets you outside on an indoor-outdoor prison. So that's kind of where the purple lock has its most use. But you can put it in any prison. It'll still unlock. It'll unlock certain things. Like you could lock the library up behind a purple key, and it won't unlock usually until after, say, breakfast. If you want to limit people, you can do that to the gym if you don't want people rushing off to the gym before breakfast. So many uses for the purple key. Orange key is a utility. It's just a good all-around key, usually for maintenance areas. And then we have the green ones, which are all for the jobs. So we have kitchen job, laundry job, janitor job, metal shop job, library job, door, not called job, wood shop door, mailroom door, gardening door, tailor door, and deliveries door. Those are all the jobs. Red is the staff door. And then white does not have, it says only prison staff can pass. This door unlocks with a prison takeover, so there's no way to get a white key, but this is the riot door, essentially. Master door. And there is a specific vents utility door. If you try to use some of these objects, like the box in the ventilation shaft, or the doors in the ventilation shaft, or some of the doors on the roof, you could run into some serious trouble. So experiment and have fun. So those are all the doors. Next are cells. We're going to be needing this in a minute. This is the basic art for the interactable items in the cell. They are beds, NPC beds, NPC toilets. No, they're all same toilets. Just NPC beds, NPC desks, player desk, player bed. And there's two different configurations, vertical and horizontal. Vertical for the player, horizontal for the player. Players is slightly brighter. And then you have different facing toilets, and one that goes down, but again, no toilet that goes vertically up, which is kind of strange. And the TV, cable TV, place on wall, in case you want to be fancy and smancy like Center Perks. The gym, all of the possible gym working out equipment. Most people hate the original 2, which is the treadmill, because you have to really mash the E and Q buttons for treadmill. And same thing, you have to mash, but slightly less, in my opinion, to raise strength using weights. And the chin-up bar is pretty much the same thing as the weights. And then you have the push-up mats, the jogging mat, skipping mat. People tend to like these new ways of raising speed. Punch bag and the speed bag. So take your pick, whatever you like. If you don't have a favorite, maybe try one of each. Who knows? Remember, put in at least enough of these to satisfy how many prisoners are in the prison. So if there's 6 prisoners in the prison, make sure there's at least 6 places to work out. Jobs. This will be for all the job-specific areas, and we'll just... This is delivery. You need one of each of these for delivery in the delivery job area. This is the license press, which needs to be in the metal shop job area. This is for the cleaning supplies, which is for the janitor area. Book chest is for the library. Oven is for the kitchen. Washing machine is for laundry. This is the master job board. You want to make sure you put that in the prison so that players can pick up new jobs and get their jobs back if they lose them. Tailor, that's for the tailoring job. That's tailoring clothing finished. When it is done, it goes in the finished tailoring clothing. Mailroom, if you have a mailman job, that will be the main place they get the mail from. Gardening, that's the gardening tools. A freezer, that goes in the kitchen along with the oven. Freezer is where you get the raw meat. Oven is where you cook it. Laundry dirty is where you get the original laundry from to put in the washing machine. And then you have laundry clean, where you put it when it's done. Excuse me. Wood shop has the timber, and then the place where you put the constructed furniture. Metal has the metal plates, and where you put the license plates. Delivery job has 2 choices of truck, left or right. Waypoints. So waypoints are interesting because they do all kinds of different stuff. But like for example, let's start with a weird one like C. This is where the inmates will collect food from, and it needs to be right next to the food trays so they know where the spot is. It's pretty interesting. This is where the inmates are going to shower, where they're going to stand during shower period. This is where the inmates will stand during roll call. So if you want, again, I have 6 prisoners, so I will put down 6 points of these in the shower room. I will put down 6 points in the roll call area, and I will put free roam wherever I want to make sure they are walking. That's what free roam is. That's what the W means. And it's the same thing for the guards. This is where you want to make sure the guards go. Do not leave any areas of your prison unpatrolled, or it will be a great place to store contraband. Guard showers, where will they be standing at shower time? Guard gym, where will the 3 guards be standing during the guard time? Guard roll call, where will the guards be standing during roll call? And guard canteen, where will the guards be standing during canteen time? Then we come down to the purple ones. You have NPC spawn point. The visitors, wardens, medics, and job staff will spawn here. So that's where they all start on the map. It should be, in my opinion, somewhere where the player cannot see, but close enough to the workings of the prison that they can get there quickly. So that's my advice. NPC employment officer, this is where he will try to get to. And I say try to because he will spawn at the spawn point, and he will walk to where his job is supposed to be, but which is where this is the marker for. And he will try to get to this, but if there are doors blocking him or all kinds of other things blocking him, he won't make it, and he will bug out. And the same thing goes for the medic. So we have the job person and the NPC employment officer. Technically, it's a long job title, very important. And the NPC medic. So there you have it. We'll do those more in depth as I do them in this map. Security. You've got contraband detectors going vertically and going horizontally. You've got cameras if you choose to use them. You get this fun little tower guard, which you can put in your fun little tower. See? Hi! Some of these guys might still lose their jobs. I'm not final on anything. And for every guard that you have, I believe I have 9, you're going to need to make a guard bed so they can sleep. This is just a spotlight for the roof level. Makes the roof more fun, a little more exciting. This is the generator, which you can use to turn off the contraband detectors. You can use to turn off the electric fence. And yeah, you can have fun generally. And this is mines. Place on underground layer. 2 mines spawn at random places within the zone. So pretty much anything is dead because there's 2 mines within the zone. So if you walk anywhere near this thing, you are dead. Yeah, that's it. You place them underground. We're going to be doing that on this level too, so you'll see that later on. Miscellaneous. We have the visitation, if you would like a visitation center for people to visit, and this is the one for the side for the visitor, and this is the side for the inmate that the inmate will sit on. This is the internet terminal, always fun to have internet in your prison. This is the bookcase, which also helps you get smart. If you don't have a bookcase or an internet terminal, you cannot get smart. You cannot raise your intellect. These are for the vents. This is the vent slat. This is... That's going to say it's not the other vent slat. There's the other vent slat. So this is the horizontal vent slat. This is the vertical vent slat. This is the medical supply chest, which you can put in the medical supply area where the NPC medic is. You've got ladders down. You've got ladders up. You've got vent covers. We'll be talking about all that stuff when we're doing the vent layer and all that jazz. We have a canteen chair, place for people to sit. It actually does lower your fatigue. We have canteen food. Has to be set in that special spot by the waypoint. We have table, so you can have a table. You have prisoner stashes, which will have random contraband items and keys and things like that already made. You can put lots of those around your prison if you want to be extra easy, or you can put none in your prison if you don't want any free help. I think it's fun to entice people into random places like maintenance places they might not otherwise go for a free stash. But really, ultimately, after playing the game a lot, I think it's probably a waste of time going after hard-to-get prisoner stashes. But fun. The cutlery tray, jerks leave this out of the maps when they create them because they don't want me using free plastic. But you can use plastic spoons to dig, plastic forks to chip, and plastic knives to cut. And the cabinet, so British, this guy Chris who created the game, a cabinet. So we have a cabinet you can hide in. I have made use of that in the game before. Camp Epsilon springs to mind. Sun lounger, you can actually lay down in those, put those outside, and get cozy. It's on Center Perks. Sink, it's just nice, dresses up your kitchen a little bit. Maybe you could put it in the medical area. I don't know, looks good. You don't want to use it for anything. Infirmary bed, that's where you'll appear. If you don't put an infirmary bed in there, you're going to have to. It will yell at you when it goes to validate. And solitary, same thing. There must be solitary. And that's where you're sent when you're caught doing nasty stuff, and then they fix all the bad stuff you did. light sources for ground layer just to light the land up. It does make a difference, having lights in your prison. And again, ladders, we'll deal with ladders when we do vents and roofs. Jeep waypoints. It doesn't get any simpler than this. You just tell the Jeep where to go, I think. I don't really use Jeeps a lot, so we're going to have to test it out in this prison, even though I don't plan on including it permanently for this prison. So, I mean, if you want the Jeep to start, let's say, to turn the Jeep Patrol west, so I would just start it and connect it. So I'd make like one going up on this side, one going over, then the next one going down, and then the next one going over in a big square. And then you could probably do like a big square, and then a little square, and then up, and then over, and then complete the big square. You know what I mean? Shunk, 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 like an L. Like, you could do little things like that. I wouldn't try to get too fancy with like the route. The less waypoints you could put down, the better, I think. And then the real danger of what I've seen other people do when they've asked me about their maps and why are my waypoints working? Almost 90% of the time it turns out that like the problem is this. And it's real hard to see. Like if you got a lot of stuff going on in your map, it can be really hard to see. But like they don't line up. And people just miss that little tiny thing because it's so far away. It could be all the way up here and having the Jeep go all the way down to the bottom of the map, and they just don't see that it's one. They think it's at the right spot. It's one off, and that will make the whole thing go out of whack. So you probably don't want to do that either. Bye bye. Pew. Bye bye. Pew. Bye bye. Pew. Pew. We're gonna leave you guard towers for right now. I feel like there should be another box here somewhere. Like, is that wrong of me? Is that wrong? Somebody's been stacking boxes there. Probably shouldn't be. But anyway, they are. Alright, what else do we got to do now? We still have one more tab. Yep, zip lines. Super simple. This is the zip line. This is like the direction you're leaving from. You're going to be going zoom. This one's going to be going zoom. This one's going to be going zoom. This one's going zoom. This is where they all end. And for every one you create, you need an ending. And in Lake Town, that's one of the mistakes I made, is I had some like 2 starters going to the same ending, and it works. It doesn't hurt the gameplay, but you'll be zooming through the air with no line. That's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. It's not as sad as an infinite zip line, but it's sad. Okay, so that's the objects. Those are all of the objects.